Sankaran sir, we talked about your guru, your great guru's memorable moments that you had as a student under him early on. But we also want to know, what was his teaching style like, and your teaching style by comparison?
Well, there was no strict schedule, in his teaching. First of all, he was such a busy artist, always, traveling, performing. So whenever he was in town and whenever he had the mood, immediately he will say, okay, so let's have, this is the lesson time.
Okay.
And the advantage with me was just, I was the most advanced student for him.
I see, okay.
Because even when I joined him, of course, thanks to my basic training under Sri P.A. Venkataraman, I would say, just before the Arangetram and then following the Arangetram, I had my tutelage under my Guru Paranisa.
Okay.
So I was in a very advantageous position. I was the most senior disciple of Paranisa at that time.
Okay.
The master will play, and then he will ask one by one all other students to repeat after him. And I have noticed, the session will go really well. And some days I have noticed, the other students, just like in the cricket, like one by one, the wickets will be falling down. And then in the end, to see only my guru and me performing together.
Elimination round, right?
By elimination, exactly, elimination rounds. The thing is, see, the guru wants the student to pick it up right away. And then he gives a second chance. He plays second time. If you don't get it by the second time, then, but he loses his patience.
Of course, yes.
But means the student has to be prepared. And in fact, in many of our Mridangam duos, because my guru was very affectionate towards me, and probably the reason why he liked me to play with him was to see, really, he liked the way I responded.
Okay.
The way I grasped what he gave on the stage.
Yes.
In a very humble way, I would follow what he was offering right then and there, and there were like no rehearsals before the concert. How can I go and ask my guru, sir, what Varaipu are going to have today? What the main Mora and the Korva is going to be at the end of the Tanyavadam? No. In fact, like in the concert, nothing was really pre-planned, of course, excepting for the main artist who may be coming with some ideas. But when it comes to accompanies, we have to really face.
Yes.
It's a big challenge. And the Mridangam players should be prepared to play in any thalam that is given, and in any kala pramanam that is given.
Certainly, yes.
So those were the days. And so this kind of, the grasping power, and then like answering back immediately without interfering his manodharma. So that's what he liked in me the most, I should say. And of course, that was a great introduction for me, the way he introduced me to the field.
Of course. And your teaching style, would you say, is
my
similar?
Teaching, yes, my teaching style. Well, back home, when I was with my guru, I was the teacher for all other students.
I see.
I was tutoring all other students. And whether they remember me or not, but I know, the persons whom I have taught.
Okay.
So he left the other students under my care, my guru. And then if somebody is not practicing, then I will complain to the main guru. This fellow is not, really keeping in peace practice.
So
So I would say let the scolding come directly from the master, because I'm not in charge of that part. No. So that's one thing. So I followed the Gurukula method in teaching. Well, even now I do that. But coming to Canada and teaching at York University kind of really opened up new doors for me.
Okay.
First of all, this is an academic institution, and then students are studying towards their degrees. They are not, small children, small kids, something. And this is one among many subjects.
Yes.
It is not just a specialization in Mridangam or in Carnatic music. This is one of the courses. Of course, it used to be one of the required courses in previous times, and lately now we have even made it like an elective and open for both music majors and non-majors.
Okay, I see.
So this way we are encouraging even non-majors to get involved with our culture, our tradition, our music and so on.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I had to really, reassess the situation here. So it was unlikely that that I could really train somebody, in Mridangam or Kanjira in a short span of time. Nevertheless, I kept my doors open and I went for a hybrid system, which I created, so I introduced some notation for all the Mridangam strokes and everything, because people here in the West are so used to reading and writing.
That's right.
And incidentally, I took earlier times I learned to read and write music, Western music.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And which really helped me in my in my collaborative work with other musicians.
I see.
It's very important. This is the thing that I say. One should learn to mingle with the mainstream. Our tradition is great, our rhythms are wonderful and all that. At the same time, I never fail to appreciate the beauties in Turkish music.
Oh, yes, that's right.
In Greek music, in Middle Eastern music, in jazz. I think this kind of, having an open mind, kind of enabled me to come up with some new teaching methods.
Okay.
So that's why I said that hybrid system, combining the Gurukula method, and that they have to learn and do it in Solkatu, keep the talam and all that. They should try to memorize.
Yes.
But still, I let them write down notes.
Okay.
But still to date, and I don't allow them to bring their tape recorder.
Oh, really? I wonder if our interview today is breaking the rules.
No. But of course, we have changed with the times.
Okay.
The only thing is, the reason I'm saying is, sometimes, you never know. One of the students, I think, may have done it to me, He was absent, he was not in the classroom, but he left his tape recorder. Oh, that's great. So that he can take it back and then listen to it. I don't want that kind of laziness to happen, and that's a disrespect. It is. And I do, and of course I do. These days allow them to record, and this is very important. And because we live in a different age,
we do. That's right.
And so. Essentially, I would say my teaching method reflects, the bridging East and West.
Oh, okay.
Bridging these two cultures. And I think that's how I became popular, I think,
yes.
In the academic institution. And as you know, I have published books. My earlier one is called Rhythmic Principles and Practice of South Indian Drumming, where I have talked about the instrument, the notation, all the lessons. Not only that, I also give a succinct summary of India's music, particularly talking about the Carnatic tradition, history and so on. And then the other one, which was published 2 years ago, The Art of Konoko. Yes. Because in my system of teaching, everybody should be able to say it in Solkatu with the thada. Because the layam is so important, and then only they can play it on their instrument. So I really insist that.
Okay. So I think that like you say, the hybrid system it has the best of both worlds in a sense.
Absolutely.
And it also invites music students of different disciplines to enjoy our music as much as their own.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On that note, I should say, at least I'm very glad to say that I was the pioneer in introducing the Solkatu as a course.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yes.
Now it is really catching, and I think it has gone to many high schools. People are learning, and so from its A, B, C, D, the Solkatu has gone to PhD now.
Oh, really? Wow.
2 of my graduate students are doing the PhD studies, doctoral work on Solkatu.
Wonderful. Yes.
And in my second book, The Art of Kunnakol, which really emphasizes Solkatu patterns from all the different traditions, particularly of course the Carnatic tradition. And I go to describe the history and the origin of Solkatu even from the Natya Shastra times.
Oh.
So it has a really, a historical significance.
That's right.
In that respect. It's not that, somebody made up these syllables and things like that. I think people should really know.
It was all coded in our historical
Yes,
texts and early texts of India. That's
yes,
right.
absolutely.
That's right.
And as you know, like again, the Solkatus have gone, to the film world a long time ago. Now we have shows like a Takadimita.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, it's made its way into the TV and the movies.
Exactly, exactly. And then you have some comparable components in jazz. It's called the scats.
Oh yes, yes.
Scat singing.
Yes, yes.
And at one time I had a nice jugalbandi with a jazz singer.
Okay.
The scats and Solkatu.
And that's also impromptu.
Impromptu.
Oh wow.
Impromptu.
Wonderful.
I think that man is known as, is a very interesting name, Subliminal. I think the Toronto audience will know him.
Oh, okay.
I performed with him.
Okay.
And I had never seen him before. We just met on the stage, and then he did his part and I did my part, and people couldn't believe it.
Extempore. Yes.
Extempore.
Wonderful.
Extempore.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, but what I wanted to know from you is on your Arangetram, which you actually showed me earlier today. You showed me a wonderful picture from the great event, the Alatur brothers. It was a very memorable day for you, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And what I want to know is, can you talk about the experience of accompanying side by side with your guru for these particular great artists, the Alatur brothers?
Oh, indeed. That was the very first concert for me to get on stage, and that too with the stalwarts, Alatur brothers, and that too facing my guru, the legendary maestro, Prani sir. Probably I was scared, and I'm sure I was. But since I was focused and I wanted to just concentrate on the music, probably that didn't let bother me. It was a phenomenal experience. I remember the Taniyavartana was in that Kriti, Paramatmudu, Rendigada Chokam, Aditalam, Arayadam. During my round, in one of my rounds, I happened to start the korvai at a wrong place.
Okay.
I wasn't sure whether I started at the right place or not, but I was just going my guru. I was looking at my guru's face and he was going like that. And I knew I made a mistake, but without, panicking,
yes.
I went into some nice Sarvaloka patterns, and then I started in the next round I started at the right place then.
Ah, okay.
The nod came.
So that subliminal communication was there as well.
It was there. I remember that. And then that day, my God, it was an Algada Chokam Pallavi, Kandajadi Tirupuratalam, Vichila Arayadam.
Okay.
Velavane, Kolagalane, Unudu Padam Tunaye, Vorar Mugane, Ar Mugane. That was the Pallavi.
Excellent. So you have such a great memory. I mean, most of us can't remember the kacheris we've done in two months ago.
But of course, some concerts you don't want to forget.
No, you don't.
These are really memorable, treasures, and and amazing. And of course, then from that day onwards, this is the thing. Like when I started playing in tandem with my guru for other concerts, in those days, I knew my guru's face. He's playing the main artist. I did not know who came in the hall, who left, nothing. That's all I knew for those 3 hours or 4 hours of concert.
That much concentration is needed. Amazing.
Because you never know, like playing in like when you are playing duo with a guru, because it's not rehearsed or anything, it doesn't work that way. And you have to just wait for his nod, and the eyes will say so many stories. Now you join, now you drop, now let me continue, all these things. Where can you get this kind of education? So this is the amazing part.
Of course. I wanted to particularly ask you about that because that's a really landmark event in your career.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.